Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Hope you're doing well. I am here and excited to talk about some Splinterlands. I got Gathering the Magic has joined today. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Excited for land later today. Excited for Rebellion. So definitely a great close to the end of 2023.
Absolutely. Hey, this has been a slog a little bit with the, SPS fell down to I think 1.3 cents. DEC was around 700 Splintoshis even after, like, we remember we were gonna launch land and then we didn't, and SPS pumped and then it fell, and there's been delays with land, and there's it's just been so many little things, and then the second round of layoffs, just lots of hurdles that really at time in those moments felt so emotionally powerful. And then now here is such a different moment and posture. It's so great to like look back and see, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of hurdles. Well, I mean, land is just such, a huge undertaking. I wasn't surprised at the delays, and I think the team has kind of, learned their lesson as to giving dates going forward. They're probably not going to give you dates for things until they are already completed and set in stone. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the next week with, land being out, Rebellion coming out soon. And then maybe some surprises by the end of the year. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Jenkins first, Battle Beast Land. Hey buddy, good to see you. Blockchain Projects, afternoon gents. Appreciate you stopping by. Gregory, hello as always. It's been a while. I feel like maybe you were here for the last public live though. Now done. Good to see you, bud. And Lackey. I've never moved my Rooney. I don't utilize my Rooney artwork. You have a Rooney, don't you? Gathering?
No, nope,
Okay.
don't have a Rooney.
I do, and I don't use the artwork. I'm not particularly in love with the Rooney artwork. I think it's cool. I think some of them are amazing. I think some of them are underwhelming. I currently have one that I don't love. Maybe that's really what it is. I want to open OpenSea and see. I used to have one. Let me see, open Rooney. I had 3, I think, at one time, and I sold 2. But I think really what it was I had enough money to buy 2, and I had enough. I had access to 3, if I recall correctly, and so I had to buy 2, sell 1, get the third. Only ever having 2, and I'm pretty sure. Like my initial background was like one of these kind of vibrant colors, which I really think is, if I'm ever going to sort of make much of my Rooney, like utilize it in a significant way, I want one of these with like the rays and the bright vibrant color. I'm not a fan of the gray. I also don't like the silly ones with like the pickle or the snot here. So there's some I think are really cool, and there are others that I think are underwhelming. I definitely use it a lot though. You don't have one, so I guess you don't use it, but you must see it. Well, you play in lower leagues. How often do you see Rooney?
Well, I actually never see Rooney. I don't think I've seen it that I can remember in bronze and silver.
Yeah, people generally wouldn't be wasting their Rooney in that context because of the max level element. But I like this one a lot too, with this like glow eminence, like that. Any of the cool, really special backgrounds to me, that is like clutch. Like I would say above any of the other characteristics, I'm looking background before I look at anything else. Do you think you'll ever want one, or is it just like it's not in your wheelhouse because of the league you play? Maybe it's too expensive. Like where's your head at with Rooney?
Well, for me, the big turnoff was just the artwork. I wasn't really a big fan of it. Cost is another thing. There's a lot of other assets that I'd rather have in Splinterlands than a Rooney, at least for me being in bronze and silver.
Yeah.
So yeah, just for me, if I was playing maybe in Diamond and Champ, then definitely. If I had more funds, then definitely I would probably get a Rooney just to throw on land, because that is just such a huge benefit to a land plot. But not really eyeing Rooney at all. Eyeing more of just trying to build the DEC bag, loading up on more vouchers, and trying to get time crystals. At least doing the testing on the MAV server, I've learned the importance of time crystals and how important those are, and how everybody is going to be wanting time crystals. If you don't have enough to clear all your plots right away, I think you're going to be in for a surprise when land goes live.
Yeah, They do have a time crystal market over on Splex, don't they? I think so. Market. Do you ever have you bought time crystals? Have you sought like people selling them?
I wasn't sure exactly where to get them at.
I'm pretty sure I'm like having a hard time seeing it right now, but I'm pretty sure there is like a marketplace for you to buy and sell them. Collection. Chad, if you guys know, point us in the right direction, but I'm pretty sure there is. Let's see. Delegate reward tool. Collection market. The Splinterlands market by maybe.
I know they're tradable because you can go into your other items in your Splinterlands account and you're able to train them. You can't trade grain, but you can trade time crystals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel as though I've seen a place, and I think it was Splex, but I could be wrong. And I even considered selling them, but it was like they were getting essentially 70 at the time when I looked. Wherever I looked, I saw that they were selling them. I could essentially sold them for like 70 DEC each, and I was like, nah, you know, like I'd rather have my time. I know I'm going to use my time crystals. Even before I really planned my because I've not fully planned my land. I'm just trusting that my resources, my ability to pull in outside resources, and my thoughtfulness will prevail. But I just knew I wasn't going to want to get rid of it. Let's see what the chat's saying. What's your strategy for land? We'll definitely get into that. Will you focus on SPS research? I definitely want to talk about that question in particular. And I'd love to hear some of your evolving thoughts around that gathering, because we've talked, I think maybe weeks ago, about kind of strategy, and you had we talked about some of the cards that you'd be utilizing, and because of the maximizing sort of efficiency with limited BCX and hopefully growing, all that's great. But I wonder, did you hear the recent town square and what Matt again said around research? And does it change any of your sort of approach? Research specifically seems like Matt is like, I don't think he could be more clear how impactful it was. Actually, you know what? We need to play the clip right now because I know it's on Twitter. I saw it earlier. Hopefully I can find it. Here it is from Gold Matters. Sounds like secret. First of all, guys, follow Gold Matters. He is the Splinterlands Twitch or Twitter content creator, X content creator. And I just love, he's just always sharing funny and informative and thoughtful content for Splinterlands. So go check him out. But in this one, he goes, listen to Yabamat thoughts on research. Sounds like Secret of Pretoria is going to be extremely important. And starting tomorrow, there's only one way to get it. It's just a 1 minute and 40 second clip. I'm going to throw it on here.
Right. So you'll be able to get a head start on that research tomorrow. So again, it's one of these things where, you don't 100% know everything that you're going to be getting from it. Some of that information is going to be released with the white paper shortly, so you'll have a little bit more information. But that, I'm just letting everyone know that the Secret of Pretoria reconstruction project is going to be one of the primary methods of reward distribution for land, and research is what you need for that. So if you don't focus that much on research in phase 1.5, you will definitely be behind in phase 2 compared to all the people who did focus on research in phase 1.5. That may be a strategy. You may want to go for SPS, and that's fine, or grain, or whatever it is. But I just want to let everybody know that I personally am going very heavily on research. And there's also the prefix titles, which the only way to earn is to be, to get more research than anybody else, or to hit certain milestones within your territory. So that's going to be the big thing. Like, the Secret of Pretoria is the name of the entire expansion. That's going to be the big thing, that drives this entire expansion, and hopefully one of the big things that drives the future of the game and the product. Some people in chat and previous town halls have compared it to the release of SPS. Like, that was the big thing that kind of propelled us to huge, kind of crazy heights in 2021 and got us to where we are now. My hope is that land in general, but specifically the Secret of Pretoria project and everything that comes out of that, is going to be, the next big thing for us.
So, gathering, that's a pretty. First of all, had you heard that clip? Second of all, what about that grabs you? Does any of that impact your plans for land? Thoughts on research?
I just listened to that clip actually a few minutes ago while my wife and I were having lunch, and it's something that Matt's talked about in the past, just the importance of research. He's pretty much giving everyone a very firm nudge forward as far as you guys need to do this without telling specifically it's a requirement. So my thoughts are, if one of the, CEOs, developers of this game is telling you he's going heavy into something, you probably want to follow him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have 2 magical plots. I want to get those up and running as quickly as I can, and have the rest of my plots kind of producing grain to support those 2. The issue that I found, at least for me, is not having enough time crystals to clear the common magical plots, because they're going to take 450 time crystals apiece, and I only have 750. So it's like, do I clear one of my magical plots right away? Maybe 2 of my common plots, or should I just clear common and rare plots? How do I need to proceed from there? So that's something I'm still kind of debating.
Yeah, I get it. This is the thing, right? With all things Splinterlands, the question is always, I have 50 million things I could do, and I can't do them all. That's the beauty of a collectible based card game, like an NFT based card game, where there's actual financial assets. There's time and attention involved, of course, but there's also financial assets, certain amount of investment. You cannot buy all things. And so then there's a pro and a con. The scales of planning have to be brought out, because like truly one option, like you go hard on vouchers, and I don't want to go there quite yet, but we got to talk vouchers today. And you gotta, if you believe in something, that means you gotta set aside others, even if you love the others you're setting aside. And I think land is 100%. This moment with land launching as well as Rebellion launching at the same time is so focusing that reality of like, you can't do it all. It's going to be powerful, because the coolest thing about it all is that they're each driving us to a place of DEC scarcity, and ultimately, therefore, SPS burning. We keep seeing millions more. This is a very exciting moment. Before we go any further, 33 viewers, 8 likes, guys. Please help us out. Spread the word. Press the thumbs up. Let the algorithm know, help people recognize what's going on. Hopefully they can enjoy my content, enjoy my channel. We're covering Splinterlands all day, every day, because we love it, but because I think it's changed my life, and I think it can change other people's lives. So help spread the word, press that thumbs up. Appreciate you. So like, I guess to the question that Jenkins is raising, what's your strategy around land and focus on SPS research? I was never really planning to push hard on SPS, not because I don't love it. Again, like I just said to Gathering, it's like, you don't get to have everything. You don't get to have it all. I was always thinking grain, because it seems simple. It seems obvious. It seems simple, but I do think a lot of people are going to do that. And I do think ultimately when we get to a place of grain being marketable peer-to-peer, which won't be right away, but they've actually said will be a top priority, and they've already started working on. I think when we get that, you get to the grains aren't going to sell for a DEC. That's what they're going to sell for when you buy them from Splinterlands, and that's a burnt DEC. But there's no way it's going to be like that at first, or I mean, maybe at first, but usually how markets work, right? When there's increased supply, the price drops, and then you find this floor, and I bet it's like a fraction of that. I don't know how little, but it's not going to be nearly that. And it's going to be, the price is going to fall as low as the number of participants that have really crushed land. So if like 9 out of 10 people go grain because they just feel, I don't really know what this research stuff is about, or I don't think I can move the needle in my SPS farming. And I do think that's going to be a bit of the narrative. People think they can't move the needle in terms of SPS acquisition. They also might believe I don't have enough plots to really move the needle on the research element. And for those reasons, I'm focusing on grain. I think that's going to be a lot of people's thought. And that might mean we have a glut of grain in the early going, which would theoretically translate to an abundance of supply for a period of time once the peer-to-peer market opens. And then what happens, like I think this is predictable. You see a massive price decline on the peer-to-peer market of what a grain should cost, because everyone's trying to sell into it once it's available. They've been saving for that moment. They want some DEC. and they all undercut each other until we find a floor. In the meantime, whales who have liquid DC and vision for the future and the capacity for storage are going to acquire that off of us for relatively inexpensive. And then we'll find some floor, and it'll be less than 1 DC, a lot less, and it'll stay there for a while. And until certain moments or events transpire where grain is deeply needed, and then you'll see spikes of resources like that. All that said, I'm really starting to lean toward focusing on research in a way that I wasn't until I heard this clip today. So that's my answer, Jenkins. I don't have a final, it's going to look like this, 5 plots are going to do, X, but I know for a fact I want to be self-sufficient grain-wise. And I also know I want to focus on research. I'm taking him dead seriously. He said this too many times to make this just be like I don't think he could be any more clear about how this is deeply important. He said in there, this is like the SPS issuance. Imagine going back in time and being able to like really take seriously the SPS airdrop. Some people did that and changed their lives forever. I think Crypto Eater, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he's one of them. Like I heard stories on People's Guild about, I forget who, but they went hard in DEC because they saw what airdrop points did. They saw what SPS was, and they made moves that changed their life. And I'm saying, I actually am starting to think maybe research is going to open some doors. Now, I don't know about financial immediate ramifications. I'm not saying it's going to moon and you're going to see some sort of financial boon. I'm saying I'm here for the long haul game wise. I want to grow in what this is. The research, I'm hearing him say it's going to be deeply important, and I want to respect that. I don't think he could be more clear about that. I trust him in his guidance. I don't think him and his vision for the future is going anywhere. So I want to get behind where I see him pointing. Any thoughts on what I just said there, Gathering?
I might disagree actually a little bit with the grain. I don't think there's going to be as much of a glut as people think.
Okay.
Once people start getting their plots up and running, between the 10% tax that's taken off of your claim right away, and then for the people like me that have plots in several different regions, if you want to transfer that region, it's another 12.5%. You almost need 3 plots to cover an extra one. Yeah. So I think people that get their research up and running right away, get their SPS plot up running right away, those aren't producing grain. And those are ones that people said, hey, I'm going to put 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 production on those plots. Okay, great. Do you know how much grain that's going to cost to feed those things? You're not going to be able to feed 100,000 pp production plot with a common grain plot.
Yeah.
So you're going to need several different plots committed just to that one.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be a glut of grain. At least I wouldn't expect so.
That's interesting because I'm hearing it's almost like, okay, like there could be too much planning. Like if there's perfect planning, you will know what you're doing and you will be prepared to feed your own plots. But most people are not going to do that. In fact, I've been here for years and I have not perfectly planned this. I think the people who perfectly plan it are going to be 1 in like 50 or something. It's like the viruses of the, right? We know viruses, like he released that spreadsheet and everything. But like, and maybe Tails too. Like it sounds like Tails is pretty in there, and you too. I think you 3 are the content creators that I followed that have really. And Tails is in the chat too, so shout out to Tails. You 3 are the 3 that I've heard are the most thoughtful and prepared about this. I do not think you're the majority, and therefore I'm inclined to believe that a lot of community members are just going to be like fat finger grain. That's why I say that. Now I also might see. I could imagine a scenario where people fat finger SPS, like, oh, all in SPS, and then they run into a massive problem of not enough grain or no grain, and they start buying DC or burning DC to get grain because that's your only option. And then that mistake is like a huge correction because it's like, whoa, I'm not going to pay DC, this much DC all the time to get this SPS. The SPS isn't even financially worth it. That will be real if you don't plan your grain accordingly. And so, I see what you're saying, and I can almost agree, but I just think people are going to be gun shy of the possibility that they have to burn DC because they underthink their grain, they underplan their grain. I think the easy play, this is what I'm saying, the easy play is go all in on grain. You're gonna have grain to feed yourself. You're not gonna have a problem. You're not gonna get the SPS, but you're never gonna have to burn the DEC to get the grain, to get the SPS, and that's a whole complicated thing that some people aren't gonna want to fight through. That's the give and take, and I don't know which will prevail, but I guess I'm leaning, like I said, toward too much grain. But too much is never enough. Also, too much is a temporal concept. There'll be too much initially, and then there'll be a market, and there'll be not enough because people will liquidate what they hold because they'd rather have DEC, and then they'll find 6 weeks later they don't have enough. And it'll give and take, up and down. Exciting times for sure.
Yeah, I think it may take maybe 2 or 3 weeks for people to realize that they need more grain than they have. You know, initially when you have that huge amount of grain in your inventory that you start off with, you know, people are going to execute the plans that they have. But like I said, if you've got a couple of major high production plots that are not producing grain, they're going to start sucking those reserves very, very quickly. So it may take a week or maybe 2 weeks, and all of a sudden your 200,000 grain that you had stashed away maybe is down to 50,000. Now you're like, wait a minute, I'm running out of grain a lot quicker than I thought I would. Now your issue is going to be, are you going to have to maybe change some of your production buildings over from doing SPS maybe over to grain to help support? And how much production are you going to lose in that transition? I'm not exactly sure. There might be some sort of a cool down. So if you want to switch from producing SPS to grain, you know, I'm not sure if there's like a 3-day or 1-day time period where you can switch from one building to another.
Yeah, I don't know.
So those are things to consider as well. But yeah, you might have a glut of grain in the beginning, but let's wait and see how things look 2 or 3 weeks down the road.
I want to say some shout outs. There's a great amount of chat action. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Drop your comments if you want. Gathering the Magic and I are chatting. We're talking land right now, but we're also excited about Rebellion. We're excited about, you know, there was some talks in there. I know you want to talk about vouchers. Let's spend some time talking about vouchers after we check them in the chat. There was a comment on the vouchers within the context of the recent live from Splinterlands. So good touch point. But Dragon, good to see you. Tails, good to see you. Ame, it has been a while. Thanks for popping by. I remember your name just always. You'd always be in here. Bolts, greeting from the Forenzexian Empire, all from Great Lowlands. Amazing. Xbot has a TCM. Who else? Eli, good to see you, buddy. There's a lot of comments here. Let me try and rip through a few. Joe Enough, bought from others. The buy sell. Who else do I see? Eric, good to see you, bud. Yeah. Alex, Bolts, Blockchain Projects, KQ, Deus, thinking get grain up and running, start farming SPS, fund missing DEC, then heavy into research. That seems like a really thoughtful strategy. I think that something like that makes sense. The more you can think through this stuff, like this, people look at games like Golem Overlord. They look at games like what land will be. And I actually think they're going to look at it, and many will look at it and say, it's so simple. There's not much here. The thoughtfulness of us, Deus's comment is like 10 words long, 12 words long, but there's actually deep complexity in that approach. Getting to a place where you can thoughtfully implement grain, get that up and running, and transition into SPS is so, I know you'll do it, Deus. I know you will. You got that head for it. But man, it's so simple to say and it's so difficult to implement, especially if you don't really attend to something like this. And that is the fun of a game like this, or a game like I think Golem Overlord too, because there's a complexity in managing your economy, in transitioning from one place to another. That is a game. And people sometimes think of it as just like, oh, it's just zeros and ones, or it's like I don't see myself moving through a three-dimensional space. It doesn't feel like a game. It's a different type of game. But like I said, let's touch vouchers. Oh, and Paul, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by. What do you, did you see the full town hall or town square or whatever earlier yesterday, I think, right?
I saw part of it, and I just a few minutes ago saw the part where he was talking about vouchers, and I'm sitting there smiling the whole time thinking, yep, I told you so, I told you so. He's going to come up with tons of voucher burns, tons of voucher sinks in land and in promo cards and everything else. And like I said, I think when I talked to you a couple months ago, there will be a time probably in late 2024, early 2025, we're going to have people going, Matt, can you please like release more vouchers. 40,000 a day is not enough. We've got all these things, all these uses, all these promo cards we want to get. Can we maybe double the amount of vouchers that are printed every day? So, that's why I've been accumulating as many as I can at 3 cents. I mean, especially since the in value is basically pegged at 20 cents.
Yep.
So to me, I don't think it's going to hit that 20 because, then they would be on parity.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a no-brainer. It's going to hit at least 10 cents. So that's basically tripling whatever amount you have in voucher value right now.
Yeah. No, you know what? First of all, when I listened to Town Hall and I heard them talking about vouchers, I can't quote what they said, guys. So if you didn't watch the Town Hall, I strongly encourage you to check it out. You should watch every single Splinterlands Town Hall and Town Square. There's so much depth in there. And there's so many Easter eggs and nuggets of alpha that you just can't get. And really, even a guy like myself who covers this every single day, and you watch Aftersound, and you watch all the content creators, we cannot touch everything because there's so many things. We just got, all those rebellion monsters, and it's like you cover 10 on one day, and there's 50 more the next day, and then the alpha and the lands and the testing and the tournaments and there's just too much to truly deeply understand. But if you listen to those town halls, you're going to get so many cool things. And yes, they talked about in vouchers and how, again, it's almost spoken of in the same way as research is. And so in some sense, you might just say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. That's what some people probably are thinking. That's why they're not buying them at 3 cents. But as I heard what he said, and knowing my confidence in who Matt is and what this team will do and where this game will go and what land will be, I am so confident about vouchers. But again, for me, it's like, I'm so confident in SPS. I'm so confident in DEC. I'm so confident. Now, if I was to choose between DEC, SPS, or vouchers at this very moment, DEC would be like a hard, like I'm not holding DEC for appreciation right now. DEC is almost at peg. It's like 950 Splintoshis. And then I would say, I do agree. In fact, I thought to myself, what you just said, 10 cents is very reasonable. Like 20 cents is the cap in some sense, because that's what they give you when you trade it in. So people will, they have that utility, but then that utility is only attainable when there are assets with which to use the vouchers for. And that's the problem. But the point is that the team and Matt are really clear. There will be too many things at one point. At one point, there will be too many things for you to acquire and spend your vouchers on. And therefore, there will be a removal of the excess vouchers. And that is always a boon to price. So the only real question, short term or medium term to me, is if you believe in this game, if you believe in these resources, like which lane would you want to be more in? I see a lot of value in vouchers, but I see more of a cap in vouchers. Like you say, 20 cents would even, like I could imagine it getting to 20 cents, but that would be like some amazing promos on promos and different burn mechanisms. And we're probably a few months away. Maybe we're 6, 9, 12 months away from something like that. I could see that being possible. 19 cents, 18 cents. But even still, that's like a 6x. And to me, if land does what land should, I would argue SPS does way more than a 16x. So hang on, did I get that right? It's 3 cents to 18 cents. That's a 6x. I think SPS could go from almost 2 cents to, 20 cents, 50 cents. To me, those numbers are on the table. And I think that's possible due to Flywheel. That's possible because of what land is doing. That's possible because of all the same things and excitement you're talking about, plus the 50 liquidity pools that come with 2.0. There's just so much that I see for SPS. So again, you can't do it all. That's where I'm pointing. Thoughts?
Yep, definitely. One thing I was thinking about too that he mentioned, I'd have to go back and listen to it again. He said basically a voucher is kind of equivalent to 200 DEC in game, so it kind of gives it the 20 cents peg. So if there are people that need a lot of DEC and trying to come up with a specific amount, let's just say 100,000 DEC, you may not have to go out and purchase 100,000 DEC. Maybe you only need to purchase 80,000 DEC, and you can get that other 20,000 through the use of vouchers. Mm-hmm. So don't just look at the amount of DEC that you want to get for your account. Kind of factor in, vouchers at that rate as well. That may help you get to the DEC amount that you need for land right. And for other things.
You're totally right. Yeah, it isn't. again, it's never for me. Like I hold a lot of vouchers already and I earn more and I'm not selling them. There's no way I'm selling them. But I feel like I'm in a rock and a hard place between 20 assets I love. I would love to have more vouchers. And actually, I want to tie this up a little bit and transition some sense with a comment I see in the chat. It's on the screen right now. Before we comment on it though, guys, 52 concurrent viewers, amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I'm on with Gathering the Magic. Check out his channel. This is a huge moment for Splinterlands. Land is coming. Rebellion is coming. Rebellion, these cards are so cool. The artwork is a huge level up. There's some amazing overpowered cards in there, I think. They're going to be so fun to get our hands on. Please, if you enjoy the content, if you appreciate the channel, if you like what I do, drop the like, let people know. Yeah, there's a comment here on the screen. Gathering. Bolt said, and it ties a little bit to our chat there around vouchers, maybe even what I was saying around SPS. He goes, Splinterland's still in development, and I would hate to mislead new users by having to expect big returns right away. Maybe we should lean more towards saying fun, entertaining, and engaging. So important. I almost want to, I've been speaking a fair bit. Gavin, do you have a thought on that? Do you want to comment on any part of that? I know you have an expression you use on your channel that almost speaks to this.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, this is a game, you know, and there's going to be a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of FOMO like we have now with Land, with Rebellion coming out. We're going to have, you know, a lot of downtimes when the market's down and people are kind of despondent. A lot of people leave the game. Just stay the course. If you're here because you like the game and you like the community, kind of tune all that out, the good and the bad, and just focus. Focus on having fun, enjoying the game, meeting new people, building a community, learning from each other. You know, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun. That's basically what this should all be about. So one of the reasons that I'm here, and one of the reasons I became a content creator to begin with, was from listening to Dwayne, listening to Aftersound, listening to Bulldog, you know, learning about this game, seeing the awesome community here, and just wanting to be a part of it. And that's why I'm here. So yeah, we can talk about returns, we can talk about, you know, SPS going to this price or vouchers going to that price. But in the end, it's like, let's just enjoy the game and have fun. And just like I said, build a community and learn from each other. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I would add something I've said a million times, but as Bolton points out, there are new people coming in. This game is still in early development. This is a growing community. I really hope for a much bigger community. And I want my message on this channel to always be wrapped in the idea of this is not a days, weeks, months, get rich quick scheme. This is a slow investment of time and attention, dollar cost averaging into cards that you enjoy for their own sake, for the fun of the game. And when you come at it from a perspective of, I'm not in a rush, I recognize that I enjoy the process, I like the game, I believe in the future for sure, that is the path to sustainable presence here. Because if you come in thinking, you know, in 6 weeks, SPS will be something crazy and I can watch a moon mission, I can be rich, and then I'll buy a deck. That attitude is, first of all, you can't predict time. No one predicts time. Second of all, the market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. That's a very famous quote, and it's so true. You think sometimes it's imminent. Bitcoin's going to be, you know, moon mission, you know, any moment now, or whatever your favorite token is. You don't know that. You never know timing. Even if things are set up for a really positive move, you never know timing. So enjoy the process. I like to say Splinterlands is fun and rewarding. And I think that's really important because that is why this game is revolutionary. It's got both components. It's got an entertainment element, but it also has this amazing opportunity. And it isn't only an opportunity. It's not a promise, an opportunity of financial return. They're giving you SPS for your play, for your time and attention. They're giving you Soulbound reward cards that, though they are initially locked to your account and they have no financial value, they absolutely have a utility, and that utility is an intrinsic value, and they will be made liquid at one point, and they can be, and so they will carry a price on the market. And for all those reasons, you're getting cards, you're getting NFTs, you're getting, you know, tournament rewards, you're getting, you know, merits, which lead to gladiators, you're getting, you know, potentially items and spells through land, all these different things, these mechanisms to be rewarded. They seem trivial at first, but they can snowball meaningfully. And that's why it's like a multi-year vision. And don't even get twisted about like where it's going to go financially. Just focus first and foremost. Do I like this? If I enjoy the game, let's just enjoy the game. Fun and rewarding, but focus on the fun first. It's the first word in that expression for a reason. Great comment. I appreciate that, because you do want to keep that. That's got to be the center. It can't be.
Definitely.
Yeah. NFO guides. I love this comment. Anything exciting worth my attention? Yeah, there's a few things happening. Maybe one or two happening around Splinterlands these days. Tom Crowcock, good to see you. What up, all? Land Day. Absolutely. Happy Land Day. That's what we need to be saying. 2-hour update from Royal and tech updates. Getting closer. Yeah. Been selling vouchers lately for nightmare packs, but nightmare packs. Oh, I'm excited about that. There's so much to talk about, Gathering. I think you got to go. Like, when do you have to leave?
I got about another 20 minutes.
Okay. So there's so many things to talk about. What do you want to talk about? I want to give you 20 minutes, and I'm going to stick around longer than that, guys. But where do you want to go?
Let's see. We talked vouchers. Of course, we can talk Rebellion if there's any questions that anyone has about Rebellion, about the new cards, the new abilities, any of that. You know, I'm glad to talk about it. Like I told you before we started recording, I was really surprised. I didn't know that we would be able to open Rebellion packs on the Mav server. So last night when I got home from work, I saw that I was able to, and did a quick video and opened the 100 packs that I had, and got to see all the different cards and abilities, and just they all look amazing.
Let's do that.
From common all the way to legendary.
Let's do that.
Just incredible cards, incredible artwork. I was like, I'm so excited now for the 5th.
Yes, absolutely. Rebellion looks amazing, exciting. I can't wait to see it. Like, actually touch it, not just see it, because we've seen all the cards. I'm pretty convinced there's going to be some hard nerfs coming. I think I did a video last night. I recorded it. I went through all of the cards at the level 1 BCX, but then also all of the max level cards we've recently seen through content creator leaks and shares. And I created I compiled a list of 5 that I think need nerfing. I think they're just too powerful. That video will be out actually at 4 p.m. today. That's in 6 hours, 5.5 hours from now. So come check it out, guys, later. If you want a 30-minute video deep diving on where I think the nerfs need to be in Rebellion. But I'm excited, man. These cards look amazing. Let's open 120 packs. But you know what I'm going to say before we do like spike, guys. Come help me out. Where are we at? I got 30 likes. That's so crazy. This is amazing. 53 viewers. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys spending time on the channel with the comments, I also recorded a frequently asked question video earlier today. That'll be out tonight at midnight. Content, because I love this and I love spending time with people who love this. So Gathering, special thanks to you too for just even taking time out today. Appreciate you, man.
Honestly, too, when you open these packs, I noticed when I opened mine yesterday and I got some gold foils, the gold foil had a 1 next to it instead of, like, you know, if it's common, it would change to 3.
Mm-hmm.
In my card inventory, it showed correctly, but in the pack opening, it only showed a 1. So I'm curious to see if that changed or not.
I heard the same thing with Hawks. Hawks did a video opening some, and I saw the same. This looks sick, by the way. Hey.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, I know the live the YouTube is slightly behind us, about 5-10 seconds, but the animation around opening the packs and the chain shattering, I think it's a rad upgrade. I think artistically, this is not even like one rung up from where we left off with like Rift. This is like, to me, this is like a totally different league, even from Rift watchers, and then definitely from Chaos, and absolutely, like, this is like a totally different game artistically than compared to as we go, you know, further back into alphas and betas. Don't you think, Gathering?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was kind of laughing a little bit because when I went to open my packs last night and I drug it to the mana well, and I saw those chains, I was thinking, oh, it's locked, I can't open it. But that was part of the animation, so I thought it was really cool.
So cool. This card is rad to me. First of all, I love his like sneer. He looks like a despicable like despot who like, and he has no attack, so he just sits on his, you know, his rear and just commands others to go. And that flank, therefore, like, the art ties so well together with the flank capacity, because he's slow, he's fat, he's huge, he's commanding, and he just stands there and he sends in others. I love there was intense thought in some of these cards with the art connection with the ability and whatnot, stat design. Kazi Fire Mage. Have you deep dived on every single new Rebellion gathering?
No. When I opened the packs last night, I kind of went kind of slow and I tried to go card to card, but I'm still having a little bit of difficulty learning the new abilities, just recognizing them. Like I kept getting lookout and flank mixed up.
Yeah.
So it's going to take me a while to get used to the new abilities and
Same
kind
here.
of it's kind of running through my head. It's like, okay, well, how's lookout going to combine with this? And yeah, there's just so many new dynamics to this game. It's really, really exciting. The key one I'm really excited for is ambush.
Yeah.
That phase 0 before the battle even starts.
Mhm.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see the rules for how exactly that's going to work.
Yeah. I was just talking on Twitter about how I think ambush might be broken. It's for sneak peek for my video later. That is one of the topics I want to address in what I think is overpowered and maybe needs some reining in from the Rebellion side. Ambush is acting at turn 0. Oh, I should say also there you can Google splinterlands.com, support.splinterlands.com, and it's got the description of the abilities like flank and they're all here, I think. Did I just pass? There's ambush and whatever, armored strike. And so it's all here on support.splinterlands.com. If anybody is having that same feeling, I was having that feeling too, gathering for sure. But I'm slowly getting it. But you know what? I want to actually hit open all because I want to look at these with you, but I don't want to spend like 20 minutes looking at these with you. Come on, gold foil. Dude, another thing is, as these open, I am blown away by the backgrounds is so much cooler than I thought it would be. I remember going to Splinter Fest and seeing a few of these leaked cards and thinking to myself, I don't know how I feel about those backgrounds just essentially being one color, but I actually love the way it looks. And to me, it's even more transparent, like clear, obvious what Splinter someone's from than it ever has been. And as we talked about earlier, people are coming. We want this game to be approachable. I think that is going to be an important a part of how it can be approachable. Like if it's obvious, well, red equals fire, purple equals death, yellow equals life, etc. Gray equals neutral. I think it's going to be really helpful.
Now, one thing I noticed too, I think I had talked about it, some other people had talked about it. I was curious about the common summoners. If there was going to be all 10 different combinations of dual summoners for the commons. It looks like they just did 5 for the allied colors. And what I mean by allied is, if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, on the back of the card there's a pinwheel where it has the 5 colors in kind of a pentagram shape. And say, for example, fire has earth on one side of it and death on the other.
Mm-hmm.
Across from it is life and water. So for Rebellion, they only have 5 common summoners for allied colors. So I'm thinking the other 5 opposing enemy colors will probably be in the mini set whenever that's released after Rebellion.
I think so. And if you look at how the packs have been released, Chaos Legion was one like war initiative, one side, and then Rift Watchers was a response to that, and then now there's a certain order over the place, and rebellion is happening, and then there'll be like a response to the rebellion. You know what I mean? So it's like almost a story's unfolding with the different editions. The gold foil Prophet Rosa, that'd be amazing to pull. One of the cards that I think Summoner Tactics is going to be a conversation that is going to be possibly, necessary for nerf. I don't know if every one of them. The one that I was most kind of nervous about, I don't know if I even pulled it. I don't want to spoil too much of my video for later, but just some of these cards look pretty crazy. When you get +1/+1, and there's a few different cards like that now, and you start thinking through Martyr, and even some of the synergies that are possible, not just Martyr, but also Lookout to sustain some of your multi-attackers, to reduce damage and just to sustain them longer. And it just there's just so many exciting new possibilities. Do you have any favorites of this cards that you've seen so far? Any artwork, comments, or any ones that you think are really, really crazy, or maybe a favorite?
Well, it's not my favorite Splinter Earth, but I'm really excited for the rare summoner from Earth, Underboss Fabino.
Okay.
He gives 2 melee, plus 2 melee to 2 units, or you can select 1 unit to be poisoned. And that just leaves so much opportunity. It's like, okay, do you want to poison, the healer on the opposing team? Or do you want to poison your own martyr creature? So you know it's going to die right away, and you'll give the buff to the creatures next to it. So I think that card has a lot of utility in it, and is one that I wonder if they're going to nerf or not.
Interesting. I see that as deeply valuable for sure. I think it's not on my radar for like concerned over it, but you know what? It's going to be the summoners in particular, especially even these multicolor summoners. I think it's going to be the unique challenge with this is going to be thinking through. I don't think the implications of the multicolor summoners can be understood until we give it some time to actually be exercised, to be tested, to be used, not just with 20, 30, 50, 100 people, but I mean thousands of people, thousands of battles, tens of thousands of battles, really starting to demonstrate what is possible. Because it's not that the summoner is overpowered. There's no ability with it. It's not, the 3 mana is not broken.
No.
But bringing two entirely different teams that have their own feel and vibe and synergies, and wrapping them together in ways that are going to create who knows how many complex different angles and nuances. It'll be really cool to explore. It could be a problem. I'm not worried about it, but that's something on my radar. Have you thought through any of that multicolor summoner, and maybe are there any synergies or gameplay approaches that to you that you've thought through and maybe sound so crazy powerful?
A lot of the ones that I thought about, I don't think will be possible yet, because I was thinking a lot of the opposing colors, like, death and life, that kind of thing. It's like, you get death and the strength of death, and then you throw, the ability to put armor on those things and heal them as well. Or being able to cleanse, because one of the things death doesn't have is a good cleanse monster. Well, life has a lot of cleanses, so, just those type of combinations. Going back to summoners real quick, the one that I thought might be kind of overlooked, even though it's a legendary, and I think it's going to be absolutely amazing, is the legendary dragon summoner, where you can either give lookout to a unit, which I don't think most people will do, when they can give ambush to 2 units. So you could have 2 of your monsters before the match even starts have ambush.
Yeah.
That to me seems like that could be broken. They may want to change that to 1 unit gets ambush. Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it because that's part of my video later, but since you bring it up, I have to say that seems absolutely busted. And I'll show some examples right now. But before we do, I want to check into the chat. Yeah, let's check into the chat. Let's see here. Bear with me. Oh, where are we going? Boom, boom. Okay, there it is. Okay, so Skyer's in the house. Alex Bernard, Matthew Young, good to see you, buddy. RK3, don't forget potions for the new packs. You know what? I think I have adequate potions. Let's see, Ame, no sneaky early hint. Then maybe I'm not sure what you're talking about, Ame. Matthew Young, there are some that should be needed, sure, or at least to make higher mana. That being said, I really don't want them to nerf too many cards, because I would rather it be closer to Untamed in power. Yeah, I don't want them to nerf it either. I guess I'm just I want a conversation around it, and for a fact that the team is thinking the same things. So I guess I'm gonna raise some. I don't want to see any nerfs. The cards I talk about needing a nerf, it's like, I think they're powerful. I think they might be really powerful, possibly too powerful. And I guess I want to start a conversation around that. Richard, good to see you. Hi, Dwayne. What is your favorite card for Rebellion in the Silver League? Ooh, hard to say for Silver, because we haven't really seen all of their stat breakdown. But I'll show you a couple cards that I definitely think are going to be crazy powerful. Jonah fellow. Yeah, you know what? Richard might want to pop back in 5 hours when I drop a live. There's a YouTube video coming out on my channel where you'll see 5 of the cards I think are the most overpowered, and that will speak to your question. LOL being complaining about all these potions in chests and now saying, crap, I need more potions. Yeah, man, that's right. Everyone hates that they got potions in their chests, but now as Rebellion, this happens every time. Every time there's a new set, we always need more potions. I mean, most people do anyways. Harry, Larry, McNary, good to see you.
I definitely need potions. Just for a shout out for all the people that are in bronze and silver like I am, especially bronze. When you open your reward chests and you get a card, that eats up one of each potion. So you're slowly going down lower and lower in potions. I need a lot of potions for me being in silver to open my 100 rebellion packs. So I actually turned the setting off for using potions opening in reward chests to kind of build up my potions for opening rebellion packs.
Harry, Larry, McNary, good to see you. What do you guys think about new cards and what will they bring to the game? Meta shift, I'm excited. Dude, great question, detailed question. Hard to answer in a really short way. But we are about to just talk about one summoner here in a moment, and that'll be a little bit around your conversation. Just before I do that, Horace, good to see you as always. Landho and Go Bitcoin, absolutely, dude. I saw earlier we touched 38 again. Where are we at? 38.1 on Bitcoin. XRP 61 cents. It was 60 earlier. DC 967 Splintoshis. SPS just a hair under 2 cents, guys. 2 cents is a big deal. That's awesome, man. It'd be really amazing to pump through that, and then just who knows where that goes. There's been SPS again. You know what? We touched on SPS. We gotta move on. I want to talk on that dragon summoner that you were referencing. Gathering. Let's see. Boom. Okay, and then where am I going? Dragon summoner, right? Dragon summoner. So you're saying this one with the double ambush is concerning to you. Gathering, do you have any cards in mind that you were thinking? Because I have one in mind that I want to maybe show and think through what that could do.
I just want to know exactly how ambush mechanic works. So you pick the two cards that will get ambush to attack the other team. So if the opposing player also has an ambush card, then does it come down to normal attack rules?
Great question, and I don't know that we can answer that exactly, but I think, first of all, support.splinterlands.com gives us an article. Ambush, this unit, it gets to act before the battle begins, so turn 0, and there's a 100% chance of activation, meaning ambush will happen. Attack accuracy still applies, meaning if you're too slow and I'm too fast and you don't have True Strike, I will dodge you, or I can dodge you. There's also... I think we have to imagine, and look, there's more here. I've never read this before. Remarkable interactions. I don't want to read this whole thing, but I suspect look at this. This is what I was just going to say. For multiple attackers with ambush, attack order applies. So if your attacker has ambush, but mine has ambush and I'm super fast, I'm going first and maybe I delete you. Units with lookout ability decrease the damage dealt to ambushers by half. Okay, so even lookout takes effect by that point. So it's like, it sounds as though the game board is set, you implement ambush on your guy, or let's say they already have ambush. All the ambushers are going to act as if the game board is truly fully set. And it's just their turn to go. And then all the normal considerations apply, it sounds. So explosive weaponry when paired with ambush blast can be a game changer. A well-placed attack from a unit with ambush may take out the key members of an opponent's team before round 1 begins. Isn't that nuts? See, that's the power of what I'm seeing with this ability is. And so then thinking through giving 2 of those to my team through one summoner choice absolutely could change the game. Could maybe be broken. It could be broken. Let me show you one card that I was looking at, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Gathering. So we don't have all the monsters yet. We haven't, yes, we do, but we don't have all their max abilities. And so I don't want to really think through, each of these level 1 BCX cards and what would be overpowered with ambush. But from a champion level, diamond level, even gold level, you're going to start to see some really crazy damage output. And to think that they would go before anyone goes, for instance, this card. Look at this card and imagine this, you slap an ambush on this. So it's got a huge damage output, and it's got a crazy speed, which means it's probably even going first in the ambush turn. It also, because it, in certain settings, like picture a rule set where the rule set is opportunity, like every monster has opportunity. You're talking 4 magic actively attacking the weakest monster on the table, And you know, and again, you get to make the choice when the battlefield is displayed. You can make the call. Like, you're looking at the battlefield and you say, okay, if I slapped ambush on, you know, this character, 5 damage archery on my team, I am going to go over here and delete. Well, now it's camouflage, so I guess you're not going to hit that one. But the thinking through, it's possible with a big damage output, such as we see in this card, Thanalor. It's totally possible that I can see it's not even a question of if. It's magic. I'm going to hit you unless you have phase. I'm 6 speed, so I'm firing first. At 4 damage output, I know you only have 3 hit points. I'm going to kill you. Like, it seems to me that ambush is going to absolutely be predictably, absolutely game changing, because it's going to delete characters, and there's no response really, you know, in some situations. Thoughts on that, Gathering?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking anything with high magic damage, since it's a guaranteed hit, or anything with blast.
Yeah.
So if you can give 2 different monsters on your team ambush, and they both have blast ability, you could wipe out 2-3 monsters on the opposing team before the game even starts.
Chaos Dragon, what an amazing ambusher this would be. Now, it does only have 3 speed, so maybe that's not fast enough for you, but because it has 10 hit points, it's not going to be, you're not likely to, even if you have ambush, you're not likely to delete my ambusher, meaning I get an ambush shot off, and you know, you're doing 4 magic damage at the high levels, 3 at the lower levels with blast. Plus, if you try a taunt to control me, I'm scattershotting anyways. And then there's, you know, Countess Sinesh, similar vibe with the opportunity blast. All of these blasters on the screen are going to be really juicy, like that article was posting and implying. Some of them are more susceptible to being spike damage themselves. That would be maybe not optimal. If you're going to put in ambush on a character, you want to make sure that it doesn't disappear before it fires. And so I would want like more hearts or more armor or whatnot. But man, super exciting to think through. And I do think that might need to be revisited. Possibly you only get 1 ambush. 2 seems like, you know, I'm really surprised they thought 2 was the number. I know you got to go in a couple minutes here. Yep. Any last thoughts or angle you want to touch on?
Just still trying to soak in all the Rebellion abilities and stats and artwork, and just amazing cards in Rebellion. You know, last night was my first chance to see like every single card, so still trying to think of, you know, all the different combos and everything that could happen there. But just super excited that land is finally here. I know we've got a long wait, a long patch today, but you know, I'm off to work, so when I get home tonight, I'm definitely going to be checking out land and getting my plots, you know, up and running. Like I said, Rebellion in a week, so excited for that. That's going live.
Mm-hmm.
And just what a great ending. What a fantastic ending. I know it's been kind of an up and down year, a lot of downs, a lot of, you know, when land, when this, when that, but man, what a great way to finish 2023. So I hope everybody's as excited as I am.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming today, pal. I really appreciate you stopping by and making time for it. I hope you have an awesome day at work, and yeah, we got to do it again soon.
Okay, definitely. Just hit me up when you want to get together. And just for everyone that is a subscriber to my channel or a member of my channel, please, whenever you watch my videos, please leave comments like you do for Dwayne, just to give me some ideas for some topics that you'd like me to cover in the future, and I will definitely make videos on those. So thank you so much, everyone. And like I said, stay the course, keep on forging, and most importantly, have fun. We'll see you again soon. Take care.
Guys, check out Gathering's channel and make sure you subscribe over there. He's got great content. Plus, he's got a different angle than some other people, kind of approaching Splinterlands from almost the free-to-play side. He has at least one account that he started in bronze, and he just fights there and he earns there, and then he uses that same account on Splinter Forge to earn some DEC, and then he's implementing that to then acquire cards that then help him in 2 ways: 1 in Splinterlands, but 2 in the Splinter Forge. So it's it's truly the time and attention investment that he's sort of magnifying, that he's exemplifying. And I think if you have any questions, maybe you're from a different nation where, you know, money's, or you're just, frankly, you're hit by inflation in the same ways that I am. And, you know, even in North America, money is tight. And so, you know, that's an interesting sort of storyline to follow along. And he covers that so well. So make sure you check him out. And yeah, I'm going to stick around for a bit here. Keep it up, guys. Let the comments go, drop the like, let people know. I see some great comments here I want to touch on. Matthew Young has a slightly different feeling on the on ambush. I think it's on the screen there. Yeah, I think ambush is fine. Just make sure to play lookout and your own ambush creatures. Totally. There is a give and take in terms of you can respond, you can counterplay, of course. But there are some times where that 0 turn action, well, first of all, you don't necessarily even have ambushers. If you don't have rebellion, does that mean you're screwed? I don't think so. I'm not saying that you are. But I'm saying, you know, because your answer, Matthew, is it's fine. Just play your own rebellion. And I go, sure, I will. But what about all the people that can't afford or won't buy, or right? And I know you can rent the cards, and I've said this in my own video, like you can rent these rebellion cards. You also can acquire some on the peer-to-peer marketplace, maybe some of the ones that seem the most broken, right? You don't have to, it's not going to be impossible or anything like that to access this. It's not, you know, so I don't want to make it seem like, I don't want to make it seem as though I don't agree in the sense that, no, there's just no way you will. But there will be some people that are going to say, I can't get it. And that question then leaves, it raises the next obvious, you know, well, if I have to have it, doesn't that mean it's overpowered? If it literally is must have, is that not overpowered? I don't know. I just want to have that conversation. I think we gotta keep that conversation going as this is, because it's not out yet. December 5th is when it's out. When it's out, I don't want to see any nerfs. Before it's out, if something feels like it needs to be nerfed, I want that nerf to happen. Once it's actually live, like it's a bad look to nerf afterwards. They've done it, I think, in 1 or 2 instances. Initially, one example I can cite for you, they used to have, you guys know the Halfling Alchemist. You know Redemption ability. Redemption ability, when the monster dies, it does 1 damage to all monsters. And that ability used to be 2 damage to all monsters, which was crazy. And very quickly, maybe it was days, maybe it was weeks, I can't remember how long it took, but they eventually nerfed that. So they have nerfed after release in some situations. And also there's a dragon card, an archer. Let me pull that up. Because they nerfed Redemption, but they also nerfed a dragon archery card. Oh, it's not legendary, that's why. The Fire Spitter. The Fire Spitter used to have Redemption in it somewhere. I can't remember where or how. And it might have had other changes too, but flying, dodge. And I think it had Redemption also. And they just took it away because it was like, again, Redemption was too powerful. It was 2 damage. And that had ramifications for the price on these cards. They were far higher. People bought them because how Redemption had been released. It was so broken. We have to have it. They paid extra. And then the nerf happened and people got really pissed because they lost, in some sense, they lost value. They bought something because of a utility and that intrinsic value. And then it was taken from them. We need to make sure we don't do that again. Or to the best ability of the team, we need to make sure we avoid that. It's never, no one's perfect. That mistake may happen again. But I'm saying Rebellion is a totally new set with all kinds of new synergies and interesting dynamics. It would be irresponsible to not detailed dive into the possibility for overpowered cards, because we don't want that to happen again. We don't want people to buy packs, cards, and plan on a certain sort of play style and have that pulled out from under them. And so, again, not saying that the issue is resolved or definitive, just saying we need to talk about it. Harry Lair McNary, holy crap, SPS is over 2 cents. Yeah, I think let's see. Yes, dude, 2.1. That's awesome. Let's go. 10% in the last 24 hours. In the last few minutes, we moved 6% because this was minus 7% in the last hour, and it's shifted really quickly. That's amazing, guys. This is amazing. This is a huge moment. Drop the like. Let people know 2 cent SPS again. I know it's nothing compared to where it used to be, but this is a huge moment. We're pointing in the right direction. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Hi, Horace. We were at 2 for a minute yesterday. Let's hope it's more than a minute today. It's interesting to see when I don't know a lot about charting, but you know, as we touch things and then we fall back and then we touch it again the very next day and push through, that's a very bullish sign. Again, not a chart analyst, not a TA guy, but that is something I've noticed. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if we get a push even higher. That'd be exciting. We are also over peg. What do you mean we're over peg? Let's go. Guys, let's friggin' go. Is that for real? Okay, I got 967 on live coin watch, but now it is different on different exchanges. Either way, 967, man. Peg doesn't mean, it doesn't have to mean 1. If you look at every major stablecoin, USDT, USDC, they will fluctuate around $1 because there are certain moments where there's increased sell pressure or increased buy pressure that drives the token slightly higher or slightly lower. And then it gets bought. The bots just, do what they do to arbitrage that back into place. 967, if we can stay in the 967 range, 98, 99, we don't need to be 1 to be 1,000 Splintoshis to be peg. If we can sustainably stay in this window, and we have now for a good while, let's click on it and see. That is peg in my mind. Over here, we're 939 Splintoshis. This is the last 24 hours. Let's see. Last week, we had a low of 927 Splintoshis. Last 30 days, we had a low over here of 893 Splintoshis. This is a great space. Now, are we where we want to be long term? No, we need to see it be, look, 90 days ago, no, like October 3rd, 682 Splintoshis. That's, probably 50 days ago or something like that. So I'm saying it's still quite volatile, but if we can hold in that 950 range, I think we're good. I think that's a great place. Okay, let's keep going back to chat. You guys got lots to say. I think the new cards are OP. The mana needs to be higher. I spent a lot on my wild deck and make less SPS now with bots. They need to fix that. It was a 2 slap in the face. So I hear what you're saying. First of all, a lot of these rebellions are powerful and they might be overpowered. And like I say, we got to have that conversation. I don't know that I agree that they are overpowered. You probably should watch the video later though, Horace, because you might really agree with some of those. Let's see what you think. I'll look for your comment on that. 5 hours from now, you're going to see a video, 30-minute video from me about overpowered rebellions. I spent a lot on the wild deck. I make less SPS now with bots. So the bot conversation is an ongoing, conversation. There is a proposal out right now that is supposed to kind of speak into that, but we can't pull it up, can we? Can we? No. With the maintenance down, there is a proposal though, something about bots. I can't remember what it was. Otherwise I would just reference it. But you know what? The bot thing is always going to be, it's got to be like this moving needle, because we're going to raise our defenses. They're going to raise their approach or change their approach and so on. Flywheel, baby. I like it the way it is. Maybe some nerfs here and there, but we should have things a bit stronger. I don't even think it's powerful as Untamed, but it's close. I see 2 sides of the same coin here. Horace feeling totally broken OP. New cards are OP. Definitively not a question, making that bold statement. And Matthew on the other side saying like, no, it's not even powerful enough. And this is the way the community always is with everything. Like, I mean, the developers have to do what they think is appropriate. And I don't even want them to nerf anything. And I also don't want them to buff anything. I'm okay with whatever they do. But the one thing I'm saying is when we issue these cards, they truly are playable. They need to be set in stone. And so if the team feels, I want them to thoroughly look at what I think could be overpowered, because not because I want nerfs, but because I actually want them to be thoughtful about, no, we looked at it and we feel that's adequate. If that's what happens, then it's like playing any other game. Picture you go to your friend's house and you play Monopoly. Monopoly is a game where there's customizable rules. There's house rules. Some people use free parking and there's money in there. If you guys don't know this game, like just any board game, there is sometimes ways you manipulate the rule set so that it is unique to your household, whereas another neighbor will play it slightly differently. And the point is, when we start the game, the rules are clear, and then they're going to stay that way. It's not in the middle of the game we're going to change the rule set. And as long as we set the rules in order and we follow the rules, I'm okay with it. Meaning, if the rebellion packs are issued, opened, playable, and the abilities are at that moment set in stone, that's the rules. That's the way it is. And so then we just stick with it. We don't change it. We don't tweak it. We don't, you can correct in some sense. If you feel it's overpowered, you can correct by, applying other rule sets or new mana caps or other, different cards that respond. There's lots of ways to do it. But the path should not be, oh, dang, I didn't think that through. It was way overpowered. Let's nerf it. And so from that perspective, I think that's why we got to look at it even as with a critical eye as people playing the game. Lots of great comments, guys. Let's keep reading them. NFL Guides, Infidel. I have a Soulbound card unlocking idea. I would like your thoughts on it. Don't snap judge. Let it marinate a moment. Can't post it all here. Okay. I would love to talk about it, NFL Guides. I did see a comment from somebody on one of my other videos. It was, I just did a frequently asked question video. It'll be out probably tomorrow. And in that comment, in that video, I talk about a friend to the channel. I think it was Erroneous. He dropped a comment saying he wants to do Soulbound reward cards that have a unique playability. Like you can RPG your way into making your own Soulbound reward cards. So the Soulbound reward card that you have, let's go to Soulbound rewards. I'm in the testnet here, guys. That's why that's where we're able to see things right now. But with the reward cards that we have access to, what if this was Lava Launcher and +5, +3, +7, +6, but what if instead of this just being the standard, what if it was what if it was modifiable? Like, so some people have a lava launcher with more armor. Some people have a lava launcher with more hit points. Others have a lava launcher with more damage or faster speed, but it's give and take. So if you want more damage, you have to sacrifice speed, or if you want more armor, you have to sacrifice hit points. It would be something like that, give and take. And I think modifiable Soulbound reward cards is a very interesting idea. If you want to hear more on that, check out the video that'll be out probably tomorrow night on my YouTube channel. Also, guys, check out my Hive if you're interested. I create content, I place it on Hive before I put it anywhere else. Not every time, but often. And this, like I said, in 5 hours, Rebellion, which cards need to be nerfed, will be out. But if you want to pop over to Hive, you can see it right now. It was posted 10 hours ago, and I do that quite regularly. So if you want sneak peeks about some of the content, you might check me out at @infidel on Hive blog. So modifiable Soulbounds, I think that's a cool path, and I think I hear you said you have an idea on Soulbounds, so that'd be interesting. Skyer, good to see you. Can tactics be dispelled? Good question. Let's think that through. So a tactics is a summoner level buff. So I think the answer is no. Do you see why? Because you cannot, when the summoner, am I wrong about this? When a battle happens and the summoner provides a buff, melee, speed, I do not think that is dispellable. And if that is not dispellable already, then the summoner tactic should not be dispellable. That would be my thinking. I don't know for sure. Great question though. Harry Larry McNary, love gathering the magic, thoughts and inputs on the game topics. Absolutely. He's a great guy. He's a gentleman, really. I love that guy. And also wise, and he really sees what this is, like long-term vision. It's not, some sort of get rich quick. I'm going to have fun with this and I'm going to acquire assets for my time and attention. And he knows what that might mean in the future. Also, if anybody needs guild You need to be involved in the guild. Time and Attention is always looking. Gathering the Magic is one of the leaders. He absolutely has spots, and so reach out through Discord if you're interested. The link for the Time and Attention Discord is always in my description, so check that out. Ambush Dr. Blight before camouflage. Ambush Dr. Blight before camouflage. No, I don't think so, because the camouflage is always present on Dr. Blight. So the game, the descriptions that we read in here, it talked about attack accuracy still applies, meaning, let's click on that. Blind reduces chance, dodge, flying, speed differential matters. All monsters times blind dodge ability. Aim true, phase, snare, true strike. Okay, it doesn't specifically talk about camo, but camo is a conversation, like it's an ability to the Dr. Blight, and any other camouflage monster should be almost safe from your ambush attack, except for if you have a scattershot ambush attack, which fires indiscriminately and absolutely can shoot my camouflage monster. That would be my thinking. Again, I do not know for sure. I hope that helps you think through your question. My horse 2 OP, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know. I've been around that bush. I hear you. Ame, will summoner buffs and debuffs apply after ambush happens, so you may hit someone that didn't get a chance to gain armor from a... I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, some of this we don't know. No, like I cannot speak definitively, but I think the answer to your question is answerable, and I think the answer is no. Meaning, let me show you this again. So back into my Discord, and this is where I've been storing all these monsters and whatnot as they come out. Okay, so this is the one tactics stage screen that we've seen from the team. This was shown at one of the recent town halls, and you can see that this summoner down here has the ability to add either 2 archery or 1 shield to one monster, or 2 archery damage to 2 monsters. Now, there's several things we don't know. We don't know if this archery could be put... There is only 1 archer monster on this battlefield, on the blue team. So there is only 1 monster that can receive +2 archery. So one of my questions is, can you apply both of the archery buffs to 1 monster? The answer might be yes. We don't know. I don't think they've answered that question yet. But they did say clearly, if this is a +2 archery, you cannot give it to a non-archer. You cannot give it to a magic monster. You cannot give it to any monster unless they already have some amount of archery damage. So those are things we know, or things I think we know, or at least. And then you said, like, will the ambush happen before the summoner tactics applied, or even summoner abilities apply? I think the answer is no, because turn 0 this is what they call ambush. Ambush is happening during turn 0. Turn 1 is where speed decides who fires first. Turn 0 is ambush turn. But before even turn 0, abilities of your monsters that synergize with one another and your summoners are implemented. Before the game even begins, you start seeing that all those +1 hit points, +1 armor, +1 whatevers, phase, etc. All these different abilities start proccing. That is before even turn 0, in my opinion. I don't know that for certain, but I would say that would be really silly to let ambush be even before the summoner proccing. That could one day be a thing. I do not believe that is this ambush functionality. But again, I am speculating. Let's keep going. Let's see. Amy, will summoner buffs and debuffs? Okay, that's the same question. Oscu, good to see you, buddy. All max level stats are live on Mav server. Oh, cool. I am, by the way, Oscu, I got access to Mav status. I put through an IT request, made sure it happened. So now I could actually do, I saw Necro was saying that we should do some battles. We could. I'm available with my Infidel in the, in here, in the Mav server, next.mavs/sl.com. The max ones. Oh yeah, there to go. Okay, these are my rewards. Rebellion. Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying, because I can click on any item. So if I go Rebellion, if I click on a rebellion card, any rebellion card, and I go into stats, I can open it up and see at every level. You're right. That would be super onerous to capture each one of these screens though. Hey, 96 times, take this picture and then really do a deep dive. If there were any cards though that you guys in the chat are really interested in seeing, this is a card I think is really, really powerful. So I will do a little bit of a deep dive right now on the distribution of abilities. If there are any ones that you want to hear my thoughts on at the bronze level, silver level, I actually can look that up. I said earlier I cannot, but I can using this functionality. This is a card I think is really great. 2 mana, 4 speed, 3 hit points at the lowest level. With the backfire, I think 4 speed is enough to start proccing backfire in bronze, especially when you bring 1 swiftness or 1 slow or maybe a blind. And so I like this card even at bronze, but it gets crazy in that gold and diamond sort of range when you start getting this inspire, because you're definitely weapons training this thing, right? This is totally a weapons trainer card. And it's not just because it's good speed and it's low cost, but also because it has a good amount of hit points. Not at turn 1. Maybe even you might say that for bronze for 2 mana is fine. But I'm saying like at the higher levels, when you get into 7 hit points, 6 hit points with a blast, you are definitely throwing weapons training on this thing. This is a weapon trainer. Like, this card loves weapon training. And I'm saying throw melee damage on it because you get that inspire. So this to me is a card that's amazing. Amazing. And I'm saying at every level. Maybe it like struggles a little bit in the silver range because the speed's 5 too in that silver range. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. So your backfire probably is going to proc occasionally. And then if you picture the equalizer rule set where everybody gets the same amount of hit points, cards like this start to, low mana cards start to be really juicy when everybody gets the same amount of hit points. And weapon trainer is going to be crazy. So I like that card. Let's get back to the chat. But before I do, guys, drop that like. How we doing? We got 52 viewers, 43 likes. You know what? That's amazing. I thank you guys. Thank you for 43 likes. That's wild. I appreciate you guys. You're amazing. Splinterlands is amazing. Love hanging out with you guys. Okay. Let's see. Jason Jenkins, would be funny if you had an ambush monster that got killed before it could ambush. That can happen. That absolutely can happen. If your ambush monster is slower than my ambush monster, then I might kill your ambush monster before ambush. And that's what we saw within the ambush screen. It says multiple attackers ambush. So with multiple attackers with ambush, attack order applies. That means that if my ambusher is faster, I'm firing first. If my ambush monster has the ability and capacity to attack your ambush monster, which is potentially possible, either through opportunity or through scattershot or whatever, then it's possible I delete you before you fire. Which is why I said earlier, when we look at choosing who we want to be an ambusher, you want to make sure you're not deletable on turn 0. If you choose a monster to be ambusher and it has 1 hit point, and my opponent picks an ambusher who moves quicker and has opportunity, my 1 hit point ambusher might be deleted. And so this is almost the pre-game game, which will be super cool to think through. Oscu, taunt is going to be super important countering ambush plays. 100% Oscu, but I was saying before you arrived, scattershot is a counter to taunt. And if you recognize the fact that scattershot can be used powerfully with ambush, and we looked at some of the blasters. We just open up peak monsters and you just search blast. There's the one that really came to mind was the dragon, legendary. What's his name? Chaos Dragon. What's going on right now? Chaos Dragon with who cares about your taunt? I got Scattershot, and not only that, but I've got Blast. So this is an amazing card to throw ambush on because it's going to drop 3, 4, 5, 7 damage. Probably 7 damage depending on where that Scattershot lands. Your taunt can't distract me, and you are not going to delete my card before I ambush because I have too many hit points. So yeah, I think taunt, you're right. There's going to be a counterplay, right? It's like you're going to try taunt and then I might have ambush. Well, if you know you don't know which summoner I'm going to play when you choose a taunt play. And then if I have a summoner tactic, the interplay, guys, the give and take, you know, you're going to look at my last 5 battles. You're going to see I've been playing the summoner tactics, and you're going to see I've got the dragon with the ambush, and you're going to think, oh no, maybe I do use taunt, but taunt isn't necessarily the answer, because if I know you've been using taunt monsters recently, I'm going to use a scatter shot with an ambush capacity to circumvent. This is so amazing. This is the power of what this game could be. We've scratched the surface in terms of the complexity of the gameplay mechanic up until now. The battle has been very, I set my lineup, you set your lineup, and we see what happens. And a little bit of a guessing game, and there's some RNG in there. But now as we move into items and spells, we move into summoner tactics, we move into ambush capacity, there's so much more agency. There's so much more agency, meaning you have a capacity to impact the outcome in a far greater than ever, because it's not even just about the team construction, like the general manager, I buy these cards, that's still present. It's also the coach, meaning I pick the team, put it on the field. But finally, it's the agency within, putting shield here, putting ambush here. There's so much going on now, and the complexity is growing and growing and growing, and land is part of that too, man. This is wild. This is so awesome. This is hugely, I'm so pumped. Let's see. Really want these cards. Harry McNary, I feel like people really want these cards. Hypothetically, what's your guess on first week sales? 100,000 packs, 500,000 packs, 1 million. Ooh, tough question. Depends on what SPS does in the meantime. Depends on what, if SPS is 4 cents by next week, that really changes the story, doesn't it? Because people can and will liquidate SPS if we start seeing increased price points. Also, Bitcoin, what's that going to be in a week? Are we going to be 45,000, 50,000 in a week? We could be. We absolutely could be. Now, I don't know that. Don't ape into anything on those speculative words. I'm just saying, if those things happened, that would speak to the sales of Rebellion. I also believe Rebellion, there's a deep appetite for Rebellion even now, especially with, it sounds like the Rebellion packs are not going to be in loot chests. If they go into loot chests, I think that dilutes our desire to acquire these packs. If they are coming to loot chests, fewer people would want to buy them because they can earn them for free. And so that, in the recent town hall, Matt said, okay, it seems like no one wants to do that. They don't want Rebellion packs in the loot chest. That's okay. He's okay with that. Meaning, I think if you've got an appetite for Rebellion, and we all should, based on the power nature that we've described and we've discussed here today, I think that means more sales. I think we sell 3 million packs easy. Like, I'm not saying in the first few weeks, I don't know. But I think that is going to be largely dependent on the crypto space. If there's a pump in Bitcoin, if there's a pump in altcoins, absolutely, we see some juicy movement in here. But I think within the year, we sell 3 million easy, 5 million is possible. I could see even more, but I'm thinking 6 million is probably a cap. That's probably my sort of positive outlook. We don't sell the full 10. They're already burning some, right? Like even as soon as it starts, they're already burning, right? So but I do think we do well. I think we do really well. And remember, every pack is half of that value is reaching the DAO. The DAO is already an all-time high. Guys, every word and sentence that we've talked about here today is excitement, excitement, excitement. And it's not even like hope. It's just things that are here and happening. SPS over 2 cents right now, right? DC pretty much at peg. Land is here tomorrow. No, now. Like, land is here in hours from now. SPS 2.16 cents. Let's go. Guys. This is awesome. There are so many cool things. Bitcoin over 38. We need to see a move here. They've touched 38 a few times. 38.2, 38.1, 38.3. It needs to push through that and just like in a sharp, strong way. And really, if it doesn't, I would say that means we're going to see a downside move. Again, I'm not a TA guy. Don't bet the farm on what I'm saying. I'm talking really simplistically. If we can't push through that resistance level in a forceful way, you would expect to see some decline. How much? I don't know. But if that goes down, other coins go down, including probably SPS, even though there's excitement, even though there's cool things happening. So who knows? But yeah, you guys are awesome. Appreciate all of your time, I'm not ready to go yet. I'm going to keep hanging out. I'm going to keep talking Splinterlands. I'll keep checking out the comment section here. I also want to look at land. I haven't ever looked at land, and I can do it now that I'm in the map setting. Look at that, 23 plots. Let's go. Let's go, guys. I'm so stoked. Okay. Okay. 53, 46. Bam, 46 likes, guys. If we can get 50 likes on this video before it's even like we're in it, that is so crazy. 50 likes on a video same day is nuts. So thank you for your excitement. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I really appreciate it. Even if you don't, even if you already have, I just thank you for hanging out. Even it's awesome. I love that we have a community that's excited to talk Splinterlands. And here's the thing too. I've said this before, but you know what strikes me as really awesome about Splinterlands and our community is this. That I go and watch After Sound in the morning, and then I go and watch, you know, Walking Keys in the evening. I do a live in the middle. If Splinterlands is present, you know, on some capacity on Discord, on Mab server, or even their live also, all in the same day sometimes. And you guys, your names, Harry, Larry, Mineri, Oscu, like Eli, like some of those voices, Paul Taylor, some of your voices are always there. Our guys and our players that are still here are so passionate about this. Hey, that is encouraging because it means something about the stability of who we still are. Now, we need to grow. We like for the future to be what we want it to be. We need a huge addition to the number of players. There's no doubt about that. But I'm saying it's awesome that there really are a strong foundation of people who are here for it. Like they get it. They've been through it. They've survived. In some sense, we've survived the bear market. Now, it isn't officially over, and it will not be officially over until we start taking some profits. That's the moment where you've realized what a bull market could have been, right? Until then, we're just dreaming. Right now at 2.1 cents SPS, great. But man, it could be 1.5 tomorrow. I don't know. You don't know. Same with Bitcoin pumping. Great. We don't know where it is tomorrow. Until you've realized some gains that you haven't experienced in the fullness of bull market. But that means the passion we're feeling right now is coming from a place of loving this game and believing in its future, not out of realized gains translating into, you know, FOMO into. It's really a vision for the future. That bodes well for our game because it's such a tight-knit community of people who believe and who enjoy and who are present even when things aren't at their best. Love it. I want to read a couple more comments. Guys, you guys are blowing up over here. Appreciate it. I'm trying to rip through some. If they ambush and hit a martyr, does it apply the martyr during the ambush? It would. If we both did ambush and I went second and my martyr was killed, do I get to start stat bump? I think the answer is a definitive yes, because as soon as martyr goes down, it immediately applies. I don't think that is going to wait until turn one. I think the answer is definitively yes. This trample rule set could get crazy before the match even starts. What an awesome comment, Deus. Yes. Plus, Deus, you got to come on. We got to do a live sometime. Like, you're always in the chat. You're always in Discord. You're always paying attention. You get this game. You've never been on. Come on sometime. Thanks, Gathering. Gathering has great stuff. Well thought of. Absolutely. Bronze is so much fun. Love my $10 account. There he is in the chat, even though he's supposed to be at work. Get to work, buddy. Appreciate you. Horse, are they going to come out with another set before I get a new one? I get the new one. I can't keep up. I would need thousands more. You know what, Horse, you will never have everything. You cannot have everything. And you need to know that in advance, because that might mean if you cannot get all of Rebellion, maybe you hold off buying any Rebellion until you see what is the truly, absolutely necessarily must-have card. Because I said in a video recently, there are 3 ways to approach Rebellion. The first is to buy packs now and to just trust that you're going to get a lot of packs and you're going to feel that whatever is in there, you're going to enjoy. There's going to be some luck in there. Maybe you'll get some gold foil legendaries, and that will be really fun and rewarding. That's probably the most expensive approach to ensure your amazing deck, right? Because you need thousands of packs to mathematically, I guess, unlock what you would want to have a high tier deck. Conversely, you're going to get the most collection power for your dollar that way, though. I say that because if you go buy individual cards off the peer-to-peer marketplace, which is another approach, you will get exactly what you want. You will fill the exact niche you desire. You will get the overpowered card that you think you must have, but you will pay a premium. If I buy a pack of Rebellion for $3, I can open it and it could have 5 gold foil legendaries in it. It could. It probably won't, but it could. And I'm saying you don't have that opportunity for $3 if you go to the marketplace. If you go to the marketplace, you will pay a premium for every amazing card that you want. And finally, there was one more thing I said about Rebellion approach to Rebellion, and it's wrapped up in the, oh yeah, peer-to-peer market too is a place, but there's no real more. When I recorded that video, there was opportunities for discounts in the peer-to-peer marketplace around Rebellion packs. And there just really isn't anymore. You know, the Rebellion pack prices, I love that, $35 for Nightmares. The Rebellion pack prices were around $2.90 during the pre-sale. That was an opportunity, $3 plus now, because there's no distinction between buying them from the team or buying them from the peer-to-peer market. So there were 3 options. Now there really is 2. Buy packs for around $3, $4, or buy cards, and you're going to get more collection power and more cards if you buy them but in pack form, and you might get lucky and get some amazing expensive cards. But probably if you want the best overpowered cards and you don't want to just guess and hope for the best, you got to approach it from a card perspective, attacking the marketplace and extracting exactly what you want. But neither approach is cheap. You're right. So choose your poison. I think for you, as you say, I can't afford everything, then recognize there's going to be at least 5 cards you need to have. That's it. Go find them. Find them first. That's the last tip I'd give. I said this before, but hear this, guys. One of the ways to get a new set that you can't afford is to recognize the power and ability and intrinsic value of a card before others do. When I used to, as I built out my deck within Splinterlands, there were transition moments. Like there were times where I never had a beta deck. I had a mostly untamed deck. I bought a lot of untamed packs back in the day. And then I'm going to buy. I had a lot of untamed. And then I slowly rotated some of these out. I saw a great value in some of these cards and I sold them. I sold them for price points that got higher and higher and higher because this was a new set. It was amazing. It was sexy. It was powerful. It allowed you to win. And I sold some of them, some of my gold foils I'd earned, some of my really better overpowered cards that I really felt were super good. I sold my Kitty, I sold my Jotun, I sold my Llama. I sold some amazing cards. I sold Mimosa, I had all these things, I sold them. And I did so not because I thought they were crap or I didn't want them. I knew they were good, but I just also knew I can't have everything. And so I leveraged that value to move into not so much dice. I kind of overlooked dice. But Chaos Legion, I pushed hard into Chaos Legion. I got 10,000 packs on my Infidel account. I got 69,000 packs on my D Cunningham account. Now that was a group buy with a bunch of people that love Splinterlands. But I'm saying I bought a lot of packs. But I did so by reallocating old investments. The point is you can never have everything. So you got to juggle. You got to get creative. You got to find a way. If you want to keep, persisting and being strong, that doesn't mean you won't have success without these things too, right? I don't have Kitty. I win against Kitty. How is that possible? Kitty's the best summoner in the game. It's possible because there's ways and within certain rule sets and within certain mana caps to outthink your opponent, even when they outgun you, right? That's the key. That's the key. Always remember that. There's ways to outthink your opponent when they outgun you. That's the key. KQ Forever, they nerfed the Prince Rin. How did they nerf Prince Rin? Oh, I see. Even way back when? I didn't know that. I don't know what Prince Rin used to be then. It's +1 archery, +1 speed, +1 hit points. I don't know what it used to be. Capricorn. Splinterlands play and earn. Flywheel is inevitable. Dude, yes. I want to be able to audibly communicate those 3 words. Flywheel is inevitable. Inevitable. I'm thinking movies. There's a movie that uses this word. You know what? I think it might be Look at this. That's a good reference. Also, I'm thinking Neo and the Matrix. I think Agent Smith says inevitable. Yeah, the sound of inevitability. Yeah, so great word, and you're right. Big if this game goes where they think it's going to go, where you and me think it's going to go, it is inevitable. If that success happens, SPS Flywheel happens, period. But if something Black Swan happens that, that changes how this game can operate, or that it can operate, or, that is unforeseeable, that's the question to me. To me, it's that clear. It really is inevitable because I truly believe their vision is wise, thoughtful, achievable, that they won't stop until they get there. And if all of those things are true, but those are all ifs, if their vision is good, if they can implement it, if they stay hard on the path and actually, achieve it, if they don't quit, if there's no big black swan, then, and those are big ifs, but I don't think any of them are going to stop us, then SPS Flywheel is inevitable. And DC or SPS at 2 cents is nothing. That's my view long term. That's why I've been acquiring SPS. I bought 100,000 SPS like, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, like around 2 cents. Whenever we were last at 2 cents, I bought that much SPS through selling nodes, which I wish I had still too. But with all things, you cannot have it ever. You cannot have everything you want. You just can't, period. And it doesn't matter how much you're upset about it. You just can't have it. You can't have everything. If you could, then the game doesn't make sense, because the whole point of a game like this is a collectible card game. The whole point is that you want to be able to receive for your time and attention things that others don't have. And because they don't have it, they might want it from you. That scarcity is only possible if every player has that same feeling of, I want more. And that, that doesn't happen if they're so ubiquitous, so cheap, so easy to come by, so accessible, so free that you can just earn them through play. Now, often the crazy thing is, all what I just said is true, but this game does also reward you for free with your time and attention, giving you Soulbound cards that are powerful, that unlock great victory and ability and capacity to earn more SPS, to earn more cards, So it is giving rewards and it's expecting investment in order to get to a place of maximum return. And that will always be the case further up, further in. It's like the Narnia line, but it's the Splinterlands line. Dwayne isn't a TA guy. He's a TNA kind of guy. Absolutely. Amen. Dad jokes. Hashtag dad jokes. Meta Furico, Lux Vega will benefit from Rebellion. With all the new monsters having that extra speed, shield, and health will be great. From yesterday to today, the price went from $500 to $600. Wow, Lux Vega was at $500? Lux Vega is an amazing card, period. Now, as much as I love it, I'm not going to buy it for $600 at this moment. But that's always the case, because right now there's always too many things to buy, and they're pulling us in 50 different directions. And so that's why it's interesting that if you are interested in X, then you can almost wait for your moment to move in, whether it's Lux Vega or Kitty or SPS or validator nodes. You can pick and choose your moments, and you can wait for like prices to reach targets you think are appropriate, and then you can enter. But I sold a Lux Vega for I think $1,100 a while back. And I love that card. Again, I don't sell cards because I hate them. I sell them because they're amazing, and I want to reinvest that value in other dimensions and other paths. But Lux Vega to me is definitely a card I'd love to have again one day. Not for $600 though. At least not anytime soon in that price range. $525 right now for one. Great price. But if I had $525, if I had 530,000 SDC, you know what I'd do? I'd use that preparing for my land. So it's just like, will these card prices always be there? No, I think if land launches the way it's supposed to, and it soaks up cards the way it's supposed to, you're going to see price impact. And we have seen price impact. I've been tracking this in Excel, but the price impact recently, like I put this on X, follow me on Twitter, guys. I put this on Twitter every so often. Let me go home. Boom. I said right here yesterday, Splinterland card prices in Splinterlands are up 25% in the last 30 days. And this is my card collection from May 5th. You can see I was down at $53,000 on May 5th, and we had a huge decline all the way over here until October 13th. From May to October of this year, huge price decline, cut in half. But as you can look, ever since then, stability, price increase, price increase, price increase. We bottomed, boys. Like, this is a big deal. And with land launching, unless land blows up in some way, and I don't think it will, you are going to see more of this trend. Why? Everything about economics, everything about price consideration is always about two considerations, two factors: supply and demand. Cards have a supply, they also have a demand. Cards, when land opens up in 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, whenever land opens up, there is immediately massive need, massive new utility for land, or for cards, for NFT blockchain-based cards from Splinterlands. Those cards now are not only playable in Splinterlands, the rank experience, the tournament experience, the guild brawl experience, but they're now also implementable and utilizable within the context of land. That's a huge, gigantic new sink for the supply of cards. So again, prices are determined by supply and demand. If supply is stable and demand is stable, price is stable. Currently, demand has been going up because people recognize there's new need for cards. And as that land is put to work and people start seeing returns from it, you will see even more need for more deeper. I want to grow what I'm doing in land, not just set it up and forget it. I want to grow it. And so if that's true, and if it starts providing sexy returns, which I think it will, in the form of items and spells once those 50 resources are available. Now that's a few weeks away, maybe months away, but still that's coming, not far off. You start to draw in new eyeballs, like what's happening over there? How much are you getting from that land? And then forget about what that is, because that's just one mechanic, that's just one game. But as new players come in, what happens? People need cards to play the game because they're interested in what's happening. They're hearing about what land's doing. They're trying their hand at it. They're either renting cards because that's the cheapest path, but when they rent cards, they drive rental card prices up. That drives card prices up because if the card can produce, $1,000 a year revenue, then it's worth more than it would have been if it produces $100 a year revenue. So it's so interconnected. And yes, SPS Flywheel is in there too, because when SPS starts ticking up and ticking up and ticking up because of the scarcity that no longer will land plots give you SPS just for holding them, but now you need to farm SPS, that's going to create a degree of reduced supply creation for SPS. There's going to be there, and we've seen SPS already being burnt to create DEC. Flywheel's coming, and when SPS starts to get 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, that drives liquidity pool returns to a crazy place, which drive new players coming into the game, which drives new demand for new cards and new DEC and new SPS. All of it is just moonshot if the path and the vision is executed the way intended. It seems to be that it already is. It seems like we're stepping that direction. At least, not advice to you, but my confidence is crystal clear. My plan is set in stone. I believe what's happening is the beginning. I don't know if you agree, but man, I'm pumped. We're going to wrap up in about 12, 13 minutes, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. Let me know if you got any comments or questions. I probably can't get too many more of them, but I'd love to see, whatever it is that you're thinking or wondering. And just thank you for all of your time and attention. I appreciate you. Okay, what else? Eli says, oh, that could bring some awesome potential with trample ambush. Yes, that's, I think, exactly what Deus was suggesting earlier. He's like, if you put an ambush on a trampler and that trampler procs, you might delete your opponent team. Same is true with blast. If you can put an ambush associated with a really important blast, that could go crazy. And then the rule sets sometimes give you trample, sometimes give you blast, so things can go nuts. Ambush might absolutely break the game. Literally, I think it could be that big. We'll see. What is Splintoshi? Sounds like a tropical disease. He caught The Splintoshi and Fuji. So Harry Larry McNary, what I mean when I say Splintoshi is this. So DEC is 967 Splintoshis. I'm going to make that bigger. So if you see there, DEC is one DEC is worth $0 and 0.000967 US dollars. So it's like a fraction of a penny. But rather than trying to say how many parts of a penny it is, what we say in Splinterlands is it's 967 Splintoshis. And we say 967 because there's always, or usually there's 3 zeros. So you don't need to say 0.00967. And we say Splintoshis because Splinterlands. And secondly, we say Splintoshis because Bitcoin has Satoshis. So a Bitcoin breaks down into several divisions. Each one of these is called a Satoshi, after Satoshi Nakamoto, the person who created Bitcoin. And so that's the explanation of Splintoshis. And that's I, to my knowledge, it's coined by maybe Agro. At least he's the first person I ever heard say that. And that's what that means. This is interesting, Richard. What price do you think Rift Watcher could get in the bull market? I think that's exciting. I don't know, but I think I won't even hazard a guess. But I will say the price has already started ticking up because people recognize that it's about to sell out and that there will never be more than like 1.5 or 2 million packs. And that's, when you compare that to Untamed, you see what Untamed packs go for. And it's very comparable in number of issuance. The question then for you, if this was like an algebra formula to try and speculate on what the Rift Watcher pack price might be, you could look at number of packs versus power of the Rift Watcher set compared to other packs that were issued in similar quantities. And that might lead you to some consideration, some numbers. Blaze, thanks for popping by. Relaxation time. Can anyone set aside from TNA enter Splinterlands? Mine keeping stay down for maintenance. Oh, see, relaxation time. It's down for maintenance right now on the true server. This is the actual Splinterlands server, but I am a maverick because I bought 10,000 packs with my Infidel 1258 account during Chaos Legion. So I have access to mavs-sl.com and that is where I'm accessing the game. And this is a test server. I cannot actually do things of consequence. I opened all my Rebellion packs earlier, but that was through the test server. I could open these chests. It's all through. None of this is going to matter. I could fight battles. It's not going to matter. It's just through the test server. They're giving access to the maps right now so that we can touch and play with Rebellion, but also so that we can look at land. And that's why. And so one last point on that, because not everybody will know this. If you buy 1,000 packs, you can get MAV status. There's a whole registration process through Splinterlands Discord. Very quickly, you would go into Splinterlands and you would find the registration, how to register is possible. Splinterlands bot corner registration right here. It's like $ register account name, and it's going to give you some directions, and you follow the directions and your account will be registered if you qualify. And you qualify if you have more than 1,000 packs on that account. But I would lastly tell you, they recently said if you've bought 100 Rebellion packs, they're willing to give you MAV status temporarily so that you can play with it now and test things now. So check that out if you're interested. That's a special IT request, I think. And if so, you're going to get into... there's a whole... I can't find it right now. The help will bring up... You get into here and you go submit a request. So that would be the path to figuring that out for yourself. Okay, we got about 7 more minutes. I appreciate you guys. We did it. 50 likes, 55 likes. I don't know that I've ever done that. So thank you for coming to hang out today. 2 hours hanging out. We got 7 more minutes, but hanging out for 2 hours talking Splinterlands and addressing a ton of different topics and just sharing some community and excitement. Enjoyed the great time with Gathering the Magic. Great time with you guys. Huge comment section. Just blowing it up today. And like I say, 55 likes is a huge number for an average Splinterlands video, let alone a live. So thank you for that. But I want to definitely I wanted to touch land too. See, there's so many things I want to do. I can't do it all. Yeah, this is a test server. Main server is upgrading for land. The upgrade will take several hours. Still, we think. We don't know, but we think. Woody575 played the new Dragon Summoner that can give 2 cards ambush and give Chaos Dragon and Immolation ambush. Absolutely. Because both the cards he's describing both have blast. They're both magic. And yes, that they neither will be deleted either. They have too many hit points, so they will survive the ambush days, and they will have their chance to drop magic bombs, which absolutely would break the game. So Woody, we'll see if that sticks around. But if you have Chaos Dragon, if you have Immolation, you know, that's crazy. But actually, you know what? Interesting. I'll take this in a slightly different angle. Woody, your point is true, but you're making a counterpoint to some of the critique around Rebellion is too powerful, because you're actually pointing out that the Chaos Dragon is powerful. You're pointing out that Immolation is powerful. Chaos Dragon is a Chaos Legion card. Immolation is a Rift Watcher card. And so bringing those sets together gets really powerful. And that might be a problem. But it's really important to remember, it's not like Rebellion itself is implementing those exact combinations. It's as we bring everything together, the multicolor summoners and what that might look like, and how does the interplay between Rebellion, Rift Watchers, Chaos, and then even into Wild, how does that all look? And that's why I've said on this channel, I'm really interested not just in how Rebellion impacts the Modern, because it will impact the Modern and the meta there, but it absolutely will impact the meta in the Wild. Because as much as it's cool to see what these Rebellion summoners and these Rebellion monsters can do in Modern, because they're essentially 1/3 of all cards available in the Modern will be Rebellion, because there's Chaos, there's Rift, and there's Rebellion. So 1/3 of the cards approximately will be Rebellion. That should have a big fingerprint and footprint on the Modern feel, but definitely it's going to have a huge ramification for the Wild, because even though the Rebellion will be a smaller proportion of the total cards available in the Wild, think about it this way, there's far more synergies that you can bring together with those multicolor summoners, etc. There's far more summoner tactics implementations when you have 6, 7, 8 sets to look at instead of just 3 in the Modern. So I'm actually interested almost more about how Rebellion will touch the Wild and the meta there. I think it'll be huge. I think it'll be a really fresh new experience in the Wild as well as in the Modern. The new legendary Fire Rift Watchers airdrop. Yes, that's the, yep, Immolation. Yeah, I knew what you mean. Bree and Dave, good to see you. Whole meta is about to change, which is huge longevity for the game. That's right. This is it. The game is fun and entertaining, and it's always has this fresh new life being breathed into it. And I see that as being sustainable. If you share that confidence, then that should change your willingness to be attentive, at least through time and attention. And like we said earlier, Gathering was here for an hour. His path has been relatively non-financial investment, but time and attention. Enjoy the process. Watch where that gets me. If you even believe what Bree and Dave are saying here, the meta is changing, and that's huge for longevity for the game. Think that through and just recognize that you might be here for 5 more years. And if you just slowly and steadily acquire assets through time and attention, and maybe from time to time, dollar cost averaging into a little position here or there where you see fit, never going too far, never going crazy. That's not what we're saying, but just as much as you might invest in any hobby, because truly a game like this, a collectible card game, is a hobby, and you spend time and things on frivolous matters in your life. What if this is just one of those things? Is it entertaining? Because frivolity is not in itself wrong or evil. If you enjoy a little bit of frivolous relaxation, great, enjoy it. That's where I'm at. And I know I'm going to enjoy that process. And part of why that's such good advice from, and an important comment from Bree and Dave there, it's like this idea that you will not survive the bear markets of a game like this if you're only here for financial concern. But if you're here for the process itself, for the entertainment itself, and for the interplay of meta and recognizing the fun of how that game grows and evolves, then you just navigate bear markets like they're no thing. Because you don't care that your price goes up or down in paper value. You care that you're having fun and acquiring more and more assets. You see what it might be and you just like the process. And that's where sustainability and longevity for the player come. And it's imparted and I guess strengthened by the longevity of how the game breathes new life every time they release a new issuance, or they do game expansion modes like Land, or even Land 2.0 is going to change things. And then, you know, boss battles, you know, guild brawls was one eventually that didn't exist and then came, like all this stuff, right? It's like constantly changing and evolving, and we're just getting started. Man, you guys are awesome. There's so many things here. Exis, I appreciate you dropping a comment. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your support, your encouragement. I do see a comment from you here as well. I don't know that I want to leave here in a minute, but let's see. Are you ready for Land? If not, how ready do you think you are overall? I am not ready for Land at all, but I think I can get ready quickly. I do not have the DEC that I need. That's the thing. But I have cryptocurrency. I'm prepared to sell. I'm prepared to get ready. I will move quickly tonight, tomorrow, as this thing launches, and I will be moving on my Land. It won't be a great delay for me. Now, I'm going to start in one way, and I'm going to grow that place and space over a period of time. It's not going to be overnight. I'm not here for days, weeks, months. I'm here for the multiple year window and vision. So that's going to be my approach with Land too. And like I said earlier, I think I'm focusing on grain with a degree of focus on the research, because I just think there's going to be too much value in that. And I don't even know what that looks like or what that means exactly. I just trust Matt. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you for hanging out this whole time. Huge viewership, huge likes. If you enjoy Splinterlands content, I need to tell you, like and subscribe. 40%, 50% of you guys don't subscribe. So if you want to see the content, hit the bell. You'll know every time. And then finally, if you want more content from me, I'm doing members only content weekly. I do live events for them only. I also have a huge library of members only content that you can go enjoy if you want to become a member. But if you do so, that's on the membership page within the YouTube channel, and you can find, you can access it, and you can see if there's a tier that you want to get involved at. Come check out content before other people get to see it. Thanks, guys.